One thing I need to do above anything else before I go any further is I need to thank Amy Weinkoff. It had been probably a year since I'd been home. I was a mess. And I don't remember all the details, but what I do remember was I was drinking a lot to sleep, to forget, to feel anything different. What she did was grab me by the shoulders and said, I don't want to find you lying in a gutter someday. And that's where I see you heading. That was a huge wake-up call for me. That was a year after I got home, so that was about 2004. This is what, 2012? It was a long time ago. It's been a long process of searching, of trying to figure out my place. About 4 years ago, I have what I call my official spiritual swearing in, where I discovered God in a way that I had never got from felt board Jesus. I was given a vision of working on a patient, blood on my hands, sand blowing all over him, eating it, and dripping sweat because it's 143 degrees outside. Then I'm not kidding. The vision is working on this patient, blood on my hands, vomit on my clothes, sand everywhere, and Jesus on the other side, blood on his hands. That's when I realized that God isn't clean. He gets down and dirty. And I apologize ahead of time, but he gets in the shit with us. Thanks, Tom. I ended up living with the authors of this book, and I did a lot of editing, and I read the book, and I'm even mentioned in there and quoted a couple of times, and this isn't what I need right now. This isn't what I want. I'm doing fine. Well, a couple of years ago, I had a major setback. I was in graduate school trying to become a counselor, because that's what all vets want to do when we come home, is help other vets. And so we go to counseling school, and I overdid it, and I had a mental breakdown, and I was sick for almost 2 years. So I've been in what's called, excuse me, it's not your turn, what I call medical rehab. Being a part of putting this combat trauma healing manual together, I knew what was in it, kind of like we know what's in the Bible. We know the felt board Jesus, we know the stories, we know the answers, but what's really going on? And rally point, for those that don't know, the military term means this is where we meet. This is where we meet when the you know what hits the fan. This is where we meet. We all gather back here, and then we figure out what the next move is. So being part of this group, these group of men, and I saw her somewhere, my female cohort, there she is. I was the only female for the first couple of months, so it's nice to have another one. But like Jared was saying, is we help each other. We're all at different places in our spiritual walk, to use the Christianese, but also in our military recovery, our medical rehab. And I'm going through this book now, like I've never seen it. Well, part of that is the traumatic brain injury that I don't remember things, but for the most part, this is all new to me, and the process is something big is coming down, and I'm going to be a part of it, and I feel it. And being a part of these guys and hearing their experiences, and I'm going to point you out, Tom. Tom said to me, well, it's to all of us, but he was looking at me, and he's like, have you ever actually invited Jesus to walk with you through your pain? We all walk through our pain. Those of us with PTSD do it every day, every minute of every day. And, that one I'm still chewing on, and that one I'm still processing, but it was impactful enough that I actually remembered it. Everyone in this room have experienced trauma, pain, hurt. We've all been let down. We've all been abandoned in that time or betrayed. But the great thing is that we don't have to fix each other. It's not our job. I just want to kind of sum up what Rally Point is to me, and what the men, and one of these days I'm actually going to remember your name, Krista. It's John 21:7. And the disciple that Jesus loved said to Peter, "It's the Lord." Very small verse, but if you go back, Peter had just spent his third time in the presence of the living God, risen Christ. In the presence of a miracle, and he still wasn't ready. So his response is, "I'm going fishing." And the rest of the disciples said, "We're going too." And it was the following morning, when they weren't catching anything, when the disciple that Jesus loved said to Peter, "It's the Lord." So I look at these group of men, where they're at, and appreciate their struggles and understand them. And it doesn't matter which war we were in, but every Tuesday we go fishing together.